Gamers and gentlefolk, hello and welcome back to the channel and to the Nexus Gaming series. I'm going to be your host, The Sound, and tonight we're taking a look at Division A. We'll be seeing fancy Flightless Fowl taking on Gen.M Esports in week 2 of Season 19 here. We're going to be doing a best of 3 series tonight, and I can tell you a little bit about these teams. Both have some history. Fancy Flightless Fowl originally formed back in about Season 11, and they have reformed under the core of that original roster with Alfie, Gingy Boy, and Batmang. So great to see old comrades back together again. Should be exciting to see. They also were able to play across a couple other teams throughout their tenure with NGS. On the other side, we've got Gen.M. They've been a pretty stable roster for a little over a year now. They, of course, are a pretty long-running, storied roster and franchise, one could say, within the Nexus Gaming series, and they've really settled into a comfortable, stable roster core over the past year. Let's take a look at where our teams stand in the division. We can see at 5th place, we've got Gen.M with 3 points. They were able to secure a victory last week for 3 points, not a domination. Fancy Flightless Fowl still looking for their first map win, but they are a team of strong players, so I don't think they'll go winless this whole season. They're absolutely ones to look out for. We can take a look at our battleground selection as well. We had Fancy Flightless Fowl winning the coin flip and opting for first pick. Map bans went out onto Towers of Doom and Alterac Pass for Gen.M, with Sky Temple and Volskaya the bans for the home team, the Flightless Fowl. And it looks like we've got both teams all set in the lobby. We should be off to draft for Game 1 here shortly. We're headed to Infernal Shrines as selected by Gen.M. This is a battleground that is, of course, all about the objective control. It can be very challenging to forego later game punishers. It's not as strong an objective as something like Battlefield of Eternity, but it's also not as meaningless as a single garden seed. Definitely one that we see teams show up and fight over. And so with that in mind, lots of compositions get drafted with securing positioning on the shrine in mind. We could very well see a triple frontline composition. I believe Gen.M have already shown at least one of that look so far this season. Fancy Flightless Fowl, not as confident in their draft preferences. Something that I did notice, however, is that they seem very comfortable swapping between players from Game 1 to Game 2. I'm assuming that wasn't just out of necessity, but their match last week featured a different lineup for Games 1 and 2. So that could add another layer of complexity to the draft considerations for Gen.M to try and anticipate. It looks like we're getting into it here. The fancy Flightless Fowl opted for first pick, so they'll be able to take care of some of these bans. We'll see the Lucio ban. It's a great battlefield for Lucio, and a bit of a specialty pick for Greek Fire on the side of Gen.M. An immediate Stitches ban. So that speaks to me of a fair bit of scouting, not necessarily the strongest hero for the battleground, with the main engage of Hook being able to run into all the Shrine defenders. Anubarak. Very good. And there's Vala. So lightning fast bans coming out from Gen.M. They feel very comfortable with their draft preparation, it would seem. First pick here, it'll give us a sense for what the Flightless Fowl's read on the meta is. Despite recent nerfs, recent is perhaps a bit of a stretch, but they went with the Blaze first pick nonetheless. Blaze is a powerful hero still, excellent at controlling space on the shrines. We'll see how Gen.M choose to respond here. Johanna Dahaka. So both frontliners of a traditional 2-2 composition picked up. And they've also secured a global. Alright, so there's the ETC Tychus combination. Interesting to see ETC picked into Johanna. I do not think of that as a favorable matchup for the cow. You can see an Anduin ban from Gen.M. Gen.M, of course, still looking for a healer themselves. So we could see a ban by the Fowl in this slot as well, though since they haven't picked up their own, that would kind of be punishing for them. Yeah, and Gen.M are going to have a chance after that Brightwing ban to pick something up in this slot. They'll do just that with the Stukov. Mephisto, of course, another strong hero for the battleground. Last two picks here for the Flightless Fowl. They need a healer and one more flex pick. Tychus likely not to be a hyper carry. We'll see the Kerrigan instead from Batmang. And last but not least, the healer of choice, Morales. Okay. I was going to think something more in line with a Deckard, perhaps. So both sides without a cleanse on their healer. Last pick here for Gen.M. One more flex pick. They could opt for another melee as well, or play it a lot safer, given how much engage the Flightless Fowl have picked up.
Victory for the Forsaken.
Sylvanas. Okay. Not too bad. Let's take a look at our drafts as our teams get ready for Game 1. The Flightless Fowl have picked a very lethal-looking composition. Yeah, the Kerrigan ETC Blaze, that's just a lot of CC and damage, especially with Tychus at their backs. On the other side, Johanna will be able to mitigate a lot of that Tychus damage with judicious use of the blind. And Mephisto's AoE style damage definitely going to be challenging for Lieutenant Morales to keep up with. I don't know that either side is really favored. It's definitely going to come down to execution for this one. I wouldn't say that one side has a clear draft win. So we'll see how they get on with it here as we enter into Game 1. We can introduce our teams here on the left. In blue, we've got Fancy Flightless Fowl, Gingy Boy playing ETC, Silverbell on Blaze, Batmang on Kerrigan, Alfie playing Tychus, and Steph with an F on Lieutenant Morales. And to the right, in red, Gen.M Esports, Infafox on Mephisto, Coffin on Johanna, Cermak of Cheese on Sylvanas, Leo Rice on Dahaka, and Greek Fire playing Stukov. So let's take a look at our level 1 talents as we get ready for the first wave of the game. Siphoning Impact. Interesting. Not what I'm accustomed to seeing as the level 1 talent for Kerrigan. Usually Assimilation Blades is the standard pick. A little bit of a wave advantage here for Gen.M. They're going to get through a little bit faster. Lots of stuns going out. Often very judicious usage of the Iron Skin will get Johanna out without too much trouble. Both teams being very respectful of one another in this rotation. Sir Mac and Cheese doing a little bit of damage here. There's a great slide from Gingy Boy. Coffin no longer having the Iron Skin. It just came off cooldown, and now Infofox is trying to chase down Gingy and Batmang. One more blink in. Alfie turns to lay in the auto attacks. Lots of damage traded back and forth here. No major takedowns just yet. Checking in on top lane, Leo Rice on the signature Dahaka seems to be bullying Silver Bell a little bit. The wave priority in bot lane goes to Gen.M, but that's because Fancy Flightless Fowl have already sent Alfie and Steph over to take care of their safe side siege camp, with Infa taking care of the mid wave and a Dahaka up in top. Flightless Fowl are threatening the invade, and that draws the dig. So Leo Rice not going to be able to burrow in for the bot camp. Knowing this, the Flightless Fowl immediately start picking up this camp. Dahaka is still a bit closer. Gingy Boy stuns 2. Batmang looking for the Kerrigan combo. They'll get the camp, but is it going to cost them anything? Alfie falling very low. Infofox just puking out damage. In the end, they make it out without a takedown. We've got level 4s on both sides. Infofox opting for a full Lightning Nova build with Furious Spark at 1 and Static Barrier at 4. Static Barrier, of course, allows for lots of survivability for the Mephisto player. Possession for Sir Mac of Cheese at level 4. So we can check in to see if there's going to be any split push attempts. It looks like both teams are going to be able to get their bruiser camps out on time. If not on time, then certainly at a similar time to one another. Kerrigan at level 4 has opted for the quest, Sharpened Blades. We very well may see Kerrigan just skip this first objective and instead double soak to try and get those stacks in a safe manner. I say that, but Kerrigan and Blaze both making the rotation up. Batmang has shown on the wave. Coffin has to pop the Iron Skin. They're going to get out without too much trouble. Gingy Boy now, without the power slide, could be in a lot of trouble. Leo Rice committing the Rush Stalker to get in. The tongue does not land. 3-man power slide. Batmang looking for the follow-up combo. Silverbell hits another giant jet propulsion. So much damage going on to Alfie. They're able to escape. Another tongue, this time onto Silverbell. The objective is not as important as these takedowns, potentially. Gingy Boy falling low! Oh my gosh, one more auto attack from Infa might have done it. Batman gets the combo onto 2. And Gen.M Esports still have their bruiser camp roll in here, so they're going to have a vision advantage. Coffin opted for hold your ground at 4. The combo lands onto 2. Infofox trying to juke here. They won't make it out. Batman low, however, will trade. Gingy Boy also down on the side of Fancy Flightless Fowl. So with a 14 Shrine Defender, I never know what they're called, Shrine Defender number, it looks like Fancy Flightless Fowl are willing to give the Gen.M team all the space they need to finish off this top objective. We've already got Silverbell and Leo Rice splitting off to attend to the far lanes. And this is where it gets a little bit tough to be the Kerrigan composition. It's harder to defend the push with another melee hero. Not as free damage on the Punisher. They are able to jump the Punisher successfully. Gingy Boy keeping the aggro there. The Mortar Punisher does a fair bit of structure damage, so they're able to get through the front wall, especially with Sir Mac and Cheese using black arrows. They will draw fort aggro here, however. Infofox, playing with fire there. Shading in. Top fort taking a lot of damage nonetheless. It'll stick around. The Flightless Fowl are able to hold on to their structure. They're trailing a little bit now towards level 10 and the heroic talent tier. See if we've got anything out of the ordinary for 7. Not seeing anything too weird. Level 10s in their pockets. Gen.M might look to invade. Instead, happy to play for the safer neutral bot side camp. Top fort went down. Leo Rice was able to send a wave in and take care of business. Coffin has opted for Falling Sword. So, knowing that they're... Oh my gosh, Leo just walks up and tongues the girl. Holy cow. There's the heroics flying all over. Oh my gosh, so much damage. Batman hits Sir Mac and Cheese. They're in a lot of trouble. They will go down. A little bit of a late set of slaps. Leo Rice getting that drag on Lieutenant Morales in the early going. It looked like they were going to win that team fight, but in the end, Fancy Flightless Fowl pick up 2 takedowns for nothing. Every single heroic was used in the engagement, so no surprises there. I didn't get a chance to call them out before they all got used, but we've got Power Slide, Bunker, Ultralisk, Odin, and Stim Drone for the side of Fancy Flightless Fowl, with Gen.M opting for Durance of Hate, Falling Sword, Mind Control, Isolation, and Flailing Spikes. Stun on to 2. Coffin and Infofox both in a lot of trouble. Gingy Boy's going to be able to make it out without too much trouble. The Durance goes wide. If they were able to lock down Batman in that corridor, Gen.M probably would have been able to respond back with a takedown of their own. Next objective in bot lane, it's going to be a Frozen Punisher. We've got Alfie and Steph with an F getting this top camp prepped in the meantime, with Gen.M kind of hunting together with their core 4 heroes.
Such a feeble move.
Level 13's just around the corner for the Flightless Fowl, and it looks like Gen.M a lot more interested in taking care of the off-lane pressure. They're down by about a half level towards the next talent tier. We've got, what do you call it? Encore for Gingy Boy, looking for cooldown reduction on the Mosh Pit. Chrysalis for Batman, a big safety power spike for them. We've also got Spell Shield for Alfie. Coffin looking to group up the objective here. Leo gets the dig, but not the drag. Durance lands. They're silenced from the Stukov, but Sir Mac and Cheese found by Batman. Oh my gosh, there's the silence to interrupt. Leo Rice falling very low here. Do they have the essence? It looks like they're going to go down. Alfie with the stimmed Odin, putting so much hurt onto the side of Gen.M. It's another 3 takedowns. It cost them Silverbell on the Blaze, but they're able to secure another objective with that team fight win. On the top side, the Bruiser camp that Gen.M was able to pick up, it has been doing a fair bit of work. It looks like Silverbell will be able to respond to it now that they're respawning. So not too much damage to this keep wall. Looks like they're just going to lose one tower at most. Meanwhile, this Frozen Punisher likely to get a lot of siege done. This bottom fort, mostly a foregone conclusion. Gen.M not even stepping up to defend it. Instead trying to ward Sir Mac and Cheese off of the stolen siege camp they got in mid lane. A full level lead now thanks almost entirely to the hero experience differential. Durance catches two. There's the mind control. Batman able to escape. Punisher was not brought behind the wall, however. They're not going to be able to get the keep involved with defending this objective. It looks like the keep front wall will survive nonetheless. And that takedown definitely narrows that hero experience stat line. Level 16's in the hands of Fancy Flightless Fowl. What is this one? Unbridled Energy. So when you damage with your heroic... Oh, and we've got a pause. We'll see if we can't sort out what's going on there. And it looks like we've got a DC. So hopefully we'll be able to get all the players back in the lobby in short order. Only a small gap between the two teams experience-wise at this point. And the map state pretty stable for both sides. Fancy Flightless Fowl missing their top fort, Gen.M their bot fort, but other than that, all sides pretty even. Mid lane for both teams pretty much unscathed. So depending on where the next objective spawns, it is likely to spawn in mid lane, but it could technically hit top lane as well. If so, that'll be a boon for Gen.M, to be sure. Anyone who tuned in midway through Game 1, welcome. We're excited to have you in this best of 3, seeing the Fancy Flightless Fowl take on Gen.M Esports. We are just waiting on one player who disconnected, but we should be back in the game as soon as they're able to sort out whatever internet issues they may be facing. I'll also say I had never considered the pairing of Stim Drone with Commandeer Odin, but that is very fun combination. It looks like we should be getting back into this here shortly. All right, so we can head back into our game. Gen.M sticking together, all grouped up with all 5 heroes. I say that, of course, right as Dahaka heads toward top lane. That wave might be enough to push them over the edge to their level 16 talent tier. Infofox, once again, out of vision through that sidewall, but the defensive abilities of Steph with an F, saving Gingy Boy. Lots of armor. There's the power slide onto 2. Leo looking for the drag. We've already committed Ultralisk. Infofox very low. There's the falling sword. Silverbell is falling low and has to drop the bunker for safety. They're looking for a drag out of this. Infofox. Oh my gosh, so much damage onto Steph there, thanks to their level 16 static field. Whew. That... I would say Mephisto has officially scaled. Any other important 16s? Johanna has finished scaling now with her Zealous Glare, Holy Renewal. So Flashlight now heals as well as does more damage. Next objective is spawning in top lane. There's another Durance, but Batman has the Chrysalis. But, oh, all that CC follow-up. It's too much. Leo Rice taking a fair bit of damage here. There is the Mosh onto 2. Greek Fire immediately interrupts it with the Lurking Arm. I don't know if Sir Mac and Cheese has black arrows available. It looks like they do, so they're going to try and get a little bit of push done here on this bot fort as much as possible. Gingy Boy, Alfie, and Steph really don't want to let them have it for free, but it might cost them their Tychus. It will indeed. Leo Rice landing true with the drag once more. They're holding on to the fort aggro for as long as they can, trying to open up an opportunity for the rest of their team to get aggressive, but they're most concerned with securing that bot fort. Periodic catapult pressure to match that of the Flightless Fowl in bot lane.
Such a feeble mind.
And it looks like we've got a little bit of a split. Leo Rice is going to be able to take care of this mid lane camp while the rest of Gen.M get working on the top side bruisers. Silverbell and Batman doing the same for Fancy Flightless Fowl. This, of course, is the situation I was alluding to a little bit earlier. This is a pretty big advantage for Gen.M. They have the ability to fall back, disengage from this shrine, and get additional resources in the form of their well. Leo Rice playing it very aggressively here. I don't think he knows that he's surrounded on all sides. Oh, the mosh pit does not connect thanks to a little bit of a lack of synergy there. The Encore messing things up. They're going to continue to chase Leo Rice here. One more bush. They get the isolation landed onto Kerrigan, but it's not going to be enough. Steph with an F hitting the final blow there. Infofox roots immediately onto Gingy Boy. Batman looking for 2. Oh, does not connect with that combo, however. They just need 3 more. Oh my gosh. Stukov. Oh, he was stranded. Greek Fire couldn't make it out alive, and so got chased down by Alfie. We'll see if Gen.M are willing to step up and try and secure 3 more objective minions. Batman very threatening here. Infofox gets a lot of barrier or static barrier value here. And now they're going to continue threatening. Up to 31 for Fancy Flightless Fowl. Looks like Coffin is going to make it out without too much trouble thanks to the unstoppable Iron Skin. Very powerful, and level 20s with those takedowns in the hands of Fancy Flightless Fowl. We've got Bolt of the Storm for ETC, Fortified Bunker, Tarask? Weird. Okay. Big Red Button, and I don't know anything. Hospice Care, Unkillable. Okay. I know the Unkillable from Morales. So Gen.M definitely looking for answers here in these team fights. The Flightless Fowl are able to leverage their heavy kill pressure to take care of business. Coffin and Greek Fire haven't been able to get the cleanses and disengages that the rest of Gen.M have needed. Batman over the wall here. There's the Blink Mosh onto 2. Gingy Boy under the fort. They're going to get out with a great falling sword. So no losses yet for Gen.M. Infofox falling very low. They're going to get a lot more HP here. Kerrigan goes down. Gingy Boy will fall as well. The keep still rather healthy. Leo Rice tries to connect with the elongated tongue, level 16. They're not going to be able to do it. Coffin does not have any real chase on the Johanna. Leo Rice digs in, however. Going to continue the chase. Finds Steph with an F here. A few more autos, and they'll take care of the Morales. All right, Alfie still standing strong here. First couple of respawns will be in the next 30 seconds, but with one keep tower already taken down, Gen.M likely going to keep pushing here. They've got level 20s in their hands as well. Nothing out of the ordinary. Mimic, Heaven's Fury, Dark Lady's Call, Contagion, and one good spread for Stukov. It's going to be an easy keep grab, but we'll see if they stick around after that. Looks like they're happy just to take that final structure out of top lane, maybe go the hard way. No, they're going to go the easy way in mid lane, take care of business. And this is where having the Sylvanas in the late game can be hugely advantageous. They're able to use black arrows and get structures down with extraordinary speed. Silverbell caught by that drag, but the rest of Gen.M was unwilling to step up and commit for the takedown, understanding that bunker was still an option for the side of the Flightless Fowl. The calm before the next objective, it's spawning in bot lane. I don't think the Fowl have shown on the minion wave anywhere. Coffin doing a great job to zone for them. There's the silence. Oh, Gingy Boy looking for it. There's the stun onto Infofox. Infofox falling very low. I don't think they're going to be able to make it out alive, and that's it. The Odin able to take him down with the stim drone nonetheless. Sir Mac and Cheese pops Will of the Forsaken, but they will also fall. So 2 more takedowns. Unfortunately, Leo Rice has been unable to turn these drags into takedown conversions for the team. I mean, it's not all up to the Dahaka player. They're finding the engagements, which look pretty promising, but in the end, the fancy Flightless Fowl definitely getting the better of these 5v5s, with the next objective coming up in the next 15 seconds. It's going to be in bot lane, but the Flightless Fowl would really like to take care of this top keep before they even think about heading to the objective, if they think about it at all. And of course, Ultralisk is coming to join them. Ultralisk can never die, thanks to that level 20 from Kerrigan. With how long it took the Flightless Fowl to get through that top keep, Gen.M have all respawned. We'll see if they choose to try and defend this objective, or if they're just willing to eat another Punisher. It's going to be a Mortar Punisher, which does a fair bit of structure damage once again, though not the most threatening for heroes. Lands the Durance onto 2. Infofox instantly kills. Oh my god. Alfie and Steph blow up like... Oh! Pop like a balloon. That was insane. Gingy Boy getting chased down by Sir Mac and Cheese here. They've opted for not the percent damage at level 1. Might of the Banshee Queen. So no slow to keep the ETC in range. We can see Batman rotating up, maybe thinking about getting some top pressure taken care of. They'll be able to do it with Ultralisk. And there are a lot of catapults that have mounted here. Smart idea to have Ultralisk stick around and try and take care of them, but it does mean that they won't be able to use it here, I don't think. All heroics up and available. Leo Rice trying to get aggressive here. The blink committed by Gingy already. Leo Rice goes wide with the drag. They'll be able to get another lick here soon, thanks to their level 7. Stim drone committed. There's the Durance, does not connect. They have done a good job dragging the Punisher up towards mid-keep. Bot keep, of course, went down. We've got Ultralisk on core with a couple of catapults. Looks like core shielding will be scratched on both sides, but no core damage in the end. Gen.M stealing away that mid-siege camp on their way out. So Gen.M in a slight lead on the map. Both teams at level 23. Takedown count very even, 10 and 11 respectively. And this is where having the global is really nice for the side of Gen.M. They're able to have Leo alone, Leo Rice that is, not Leoric. Leo Rice take care of this far lane without having to worry about if they'll get caught out 4v5. Calthan just face checks that bush. Gingy is in range. Infa tries to connect with the Durance. Gingy will use the Bolt of the Storm to escape. So I think it's a relatively even cooldown trade. What's this Bolt? 70. Yeah, that's a pretty even cooldown trade. This catapult pressure in bot lane is going to be tough for the Fowl to contend with, because eventually Leo Rice is going to get top lane pushing in favor of Gen.M. So they've got a problem on two fronts, really. Next objective will be in mid lane. It's an Arcane Punisher. Gingy Boy trying to keep an eye on Gen.M, playing it safe, warding the mid bush. And neither team looking to get too aggressive here until there is something concrete to fight over. Looks like Gen.M are getting a little bored of waiting for things to happen and are going to use possession and potentially black arrows. There's the mind control. Unkillable popped. They catch the Morales with Durance. Gingy Boy, however, threatening on the side. There's flailing swipes and a bunker drop. So bunker for Durance, definitely a trade that favors the side of Gen.M. And with the next objective spawning, we could see Gen.M peel back. Oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought about the Odin getting popped is a really big deal. That's been a big part of the game plan for Fancy Flightless Fowl in these objective fights. Cawthon dismounted there. And top lane will become an issue, especially with that Bruiser camp now in the mix for Gen.M. Fancy Flightless Fowl kind of need to take a fast fight here. Infofox trying to connect with the Durance, does not connect. Oh my gosh, so much damage on the Cawthon here. They've got the Iron Skin still available. But on the right side, we've got a lot of damage. Batman able to almost take out Sir Mac and Cheese. Now it's Leo Rice who's in trouble. Gingy Boy on an island. We'll see if Infofox has bitten off more than they can chew. Sir Mac and Cheese goes down. Def with an F getting chased by Cawthon here. There's the bunker once again, but the core is taking damage. Fancy Flightless Fowl need to get back home. Gen.M are just going to try and keep them here down to below 50%. Silverbell still hasn't hearthed. Oh my gosh, Batman will fall. The catapults have been stalled. We've got one more coming in top lane, but the core won't fall on its own. Steph with an F getting chased to the ends of the battleground by Cawthon here. Very even on objective progress, but it is 4v3 in favor of Gen.M. Alfie, of course, has a lot of range to play safely from. There's another slide onto Leo Rice. Silence onto 2, 33 to 34. This is a razor thin lead. 38 to 39. One more Shrine Defender and Fancy Flightless Fowl end up taking it. The long-range objective poke from the Commandeer Odin. Alfie able to secure this Arcane Punisher in spite of being down a hero. They lost 66% of their core, but you only need 1% to survive. Of course, this objective is kind of a hollow victory. It's not even going to get through the keep wall here. But I have to think that if the Fowl had lost the objective, that might have cost them the whole game. They'll get the bottom siege camp taken away before Gen.M are back in full force on the battleground. An interesting time to use the Unstoppable for Sir Mac and Cheese. I'm assuming that is an accidental use of Willa Forsaken. And so the map state still largely unchanged. We've got uneven catapult pressure in favor of Gen.M on the bot side, and the global advantage that they've got through their Dahaka, Leo Rice definitely able to protect any sort of unbalanced lane setup that the Fowl might look for in top lane. There's the slide and boop. Leo Rice has to use their burrow. There's the Durance. Oh, Leo misses with the... Oh my god, step with an F! They're able to get into the bunker. They're very low in there. Gingy Boy looks for the stun. They connect it onto the Stukov. Greek Fire falling very low, and they will die. That's ETC to go down. There's Morales as well. Silverbell falling low. Batman very healthy here. Alfie looking for one more takedown. Oh my gosh, Infofox is so low. Leo Rice landing drag after drag. Infofox will go down. Batman gets caught and body blocked. That'll do it. 4 for 1 in favor of Gen.M. Of course, it's tough to get much done when the one that you lost is your healer. If your teammates don't have any sort of innate sustain, which Infofox on the Mephisto, not a hero known for his sustain, that teamfight win is going to afford Gen.M the opportunity to get their lanes back in order, but unfortunately they're not going to be able to secure much more than that. The fancy Flightless Fowl, no doubt very happy that Gen.M weren't able to capitalize any further on that. They're still in a tenuous position with their core down below half. Kerrigan and Tychus will be up in time for the objective. We've got 2 catapults mounting in bot lane already, and Leo Rice looks to be headed that way. If they're able to escort catapults just a little bit sooner, and now that they see fancy Flightless Fowl, a mosh pit onto the wave. That is an unfortunate misclick for Gingy. Silverbell in deep here, caught by the Durance. Here's the dragon from Leo Rice. Does not connect with Step with an F, but that's 2 hit by the isolation. Unkillable popped. Batman now under threat. Pops the Chrysalis. Gingy Boy does not have their heroic any longer. Infofox getting reset after reset here. They're falling low. Oh my gosh, so low. The catapults continue to mount in bot lane. Silverbell, oh my gosh, they don't have the bunker anymore, and they'll go down. Still, Infofox next to fall. Coffin is trying to get this fight to last as long as possible. Batman in deep, doing a lot of damage. Coffin and Greek Fire get them out of trouble, and the catapults are going to town on the core once again. It's just 2, only one of which is connected and hitting the core itself. Batman has made it back. Leo Rice does not connect with the drag. Gingy Boy hits another mosh there. Leo Rice taking so much damage from the bigger they are on Tychus and connects with the silence. Sir Mac and Cheese trying to chase with Will of the Forsaken. In the end, just the ETC is going to go down. So core now down to 20%. Gen.M has played very patiently, and it's going to net them another objective. This catapult won't be any threat with Silverbell respawning, and it looks like all but Gingy Boy on ETC will be up for fancy Flightless Fowl to defend here. The fact that it's a Frozen Punisher doesn't matter too much, since it's not going towards any outer structure. It's just headed straight to the core. And we can see Gen.M with their objective push looking to end fancy Flightless Fowl, trying to do the same. Alfie still quite low. We'll see if any Hearth. It doesn't look like any will. We've got Coffin, Greek Fire, and friends already on the objective. It's a lot of damage going onto the core. It's a base race. It's a close one, but in the end, Gen.M able to take it. GG and well played. tight, close contest, to be sure. Woo! Talk about a nail-biter right at the end. A great call from the Flightless Fowl to go for the base race, and they almost secured it. Especially with Gingy on ETC getting those stalls with the power slide and whatnot. They were unable to take it in the end, but it was 100% the right call to make. And that'll do it for game one. We can take a look at our post-game stats here. Let me make sure that I update the scoreboard first. Excellent. We can take a look at our post-game stats. InfoFox on the Mephisto, able to do a fair bit of damage for the winning team, but Alfie on Tychus, top of the lobby as far as hero damage is concerned. Silvervel's Blaze collecting just an unholy amount of experience, nearly 43,000, but that's not too big a surprise when a game goes as long as 33 minutes. We can take a look at our talents now as well. Nothing terribly out of the ordinary, although Batmang at level 1, not opting for Assimilation Blades, that is the one thing that kind of stuck out to me. Not what is most typical to see. Leo Rice going for the Regeneration build, Dahaka over the Race Car, Greek Fire sticking to that Lurking Arm build. Nothing too strange there. So there you have it. Game one in the books. A nail-biting ending with a very slick backdoor attempt from the Flightless Fowl. Definitely a heads-up call. And I'll say, Steph with an F on the Morales, it was not a hero that I had a lot of belief in going into game one, but the number of times they were able to save the one target that Gen.M had isolated through all of their defensive tools, it was hugely beneficial to them. Vanadium plating, of course, a big part of that equation, her level 7 talent offering additional armor to stunned targets. So yeah, Lieutenant Morales, plenty good, is kind of my takeaway. And, okay, looks like we do have another lobby set up here. Where are we headed? Okay. Tomb of the Spider Queen, as selected by Gen.M once again. This is a battleground that both teams played last week. I believe Gen.M got a win on it. Fancy Flightless Fowl still looking for a win in the season. And once again, I'll say they look like a strong team, to be sure. That was a, I wouldn't say challenging composition to pilot, but certainly not as straightforward as your traditional 2 ranged assassins, 2 tank-like heroes, and 1 healer. Once you mix in the melee of Kerrigan, it becomes a little less intuitive for some players. And so the fact that they had the game as close as they were able to keep it, I think speaks volumes of them. To anyone who tuned in midway through game 1, welcome. Excited to have you. Division A, best of 3, Gen.M, Fancy Flightless Fowl. We're getting into it. And we should be getting into our draft for game 2 here shortly. Excellent. Tomb of the Spider Queen, of course, another good battleground for Kerrigan. For similar reasons that Infernal Shrines can be so good, because so much of the objective in terms of Tomb happens in lane, there's always a minion to jump through, or jump to, with Ravage. Last game, it was a Lucio ban in the first slot. They're going to stick with it. Not wanting to let our audio medic get through the draft. Another Stitches ban. It's a scam hero. I don't agree with anyone who likes it. There's the Mephisto ban. Not surprising. Infa really showing up on the hero for game 1. And once again, last game it was a Vala ban in this slot from Gen.M. We'll see if they stick to their guns there or if they want to adapt it. All right. We did Blaze first pick last time. It's still a very neutral opening, but Brightwing is going to be our first pick of choice this time around. Johanna's still available. I'd be surprised if Gen.M don't pick it up here, given her prowess on the battleground. Well, color me surprised. There's Rhaegar and Blaze. Another good pair of wave clear heroes. Brightwing, the global not as important on this battleground, but phase shift still very powerful. There's Greymane and Leoric. So off-lane damage and healer secured. Fancy Flightless Fowl still looking for their flex and tank. Likely to see a tank man here from Gen.M. The ETC that Gingy Boy played was pretty strong. Instead of the tank ban, they're going to stick to the Hanzo. Very interesting. It seems their scouting must tell them that that is not to be let through. There's the Anub ban. This time in the third slot, but still not something that the Fowl want to let Gen.M get their hands on. Tychus Varian. All right. A pretty classic blow-up combo. We'll see what the last two choices are. Gingy Boy probably going to want to pick something that can withstand the taunt minigun combo. We'll see if Batman pulls out the Kerrigan once again. Might not be so bad given the low range of Gen.M. Going to play it much safer, go for the Chromie, and Johanna making it all the way to the last slot in the draft. Not what I'm accustomed to seeing, certainly not on Tomb of the Spider Queen. But definitely rounds out the wave clear for the Flightless Fowl. I would love to see Gen.M pick a little bit more wave clear up here. A Tassadar might be nice. Dahaka. Okay, so it's a double bruiser for the red team. Very interesting. So let's pop over to our draft view to see what we're headed into game 2 with. Man, I gotta say, the wave clear that Johanna, Chromie, and Leoric bring, I thought was going to be kind of crippling for Gen.M, but now that they've opted for the Blaze Dahaka, I'm assuming it's a Flex Blaze rather than a Flex Dahaka, because Dahaka can always dig to the team. But it's kind of a Tychus hypercarry situation. We'll see if Sir Mac Cheese is able to pump out the DPS required as we get prepared for game 2. So let's get into it here and introduce our teams once again. Looking to take us to a game 3, we got Fancy Flightless Fowl, Batman on Chromie, Gingy Boy playing Johanna, Steph with an F on Brightwing, Alfie on Greymane, and Silverbell playing Leoric. to the right in red, trying to finish off and get their first domination of the season. We've got Gen.M. Infofox on Dahaka, Cawthon playing Varian, Sir Mac of Cheese on Tychus, Leo Rice playing Blaze, and Greek Fire on Rhaegar. Time Walker's Pursuit at level 1 for Batmang. It's going to give them spell power and the ability to scout all sorts of locations. I believe it's a 20-second cooldown, 25-second cooldown. Cawthon taking a lot of damage. Gen.M have a relatively weak pre-level 4 thanks to the Varian, but they're zoning pretty effectively here, making the Flightless Fowl take as long as possible with that wave. Gingy Boy getting very aggressive here. There's the blind. Infofox very low. I don't think they're going to be able to make it out alive, and I'm wrong. Alfie Morgan's in, but unable to pick up the takedowns. Leo Rice potentially in a lot of trouble, but they're paying attention to the minimap. Oh my gosh, wait a second. Level 1, High King's Quest. Gingy Boy able to make it out alive. High King's Quest, that leads me to believe that it's a Smash Varian and not a Taunt Varian. Taunt Varian typically going for overpower level 1. Infofox connects the drag onto Alfie. There's the stun onto 2. Polymorph. Infofox trying to take out Alfie, but gonna make it out alive. Greek Fire bites in onto Alfie here. The Leoric takedown. Greek Fire very low. Alfie will chase down the kill on Rhaegar. One more auto from Leo Rice might do it, but in the end, Fancy Flightless Fowl pick up the 2 takedowns and the camp. Silverbell will be back up and able to participate thanks to their Undying trait. So things kind of went bad to worse here for Gen.M. Fancy Flightless Fowl kept their cool even with the invade, and that's put them pretty far ahead on the map tempo-wise. Level 4, it is Colossus Smash for Varian. We're going to hear the King of Stormwind scream his heart out. All the more curiouser, it means it's like a main tank Dahaka? Not what I'm accustomed to. I guess if there is one battleground to take it, it's Tomb of the Spider Queen. There's a great drag onto Alfie. Cawthon connecting with the Colossus Smash. Infofox falling very low, as is Cawthon here. They're able to make it out alive. The cocktail does not take anyone out, and Infa does not let their heal over time get them too healthy before they step out. That's going to be another takedown in favor of the Flightless Fowl. So a pretty heavy experience lead now. Almost to their level 7s. Infofox digs in, tries to connect the drag, but Steph with an F is in range for the Polymorph. The Flightless Fowl have enough gems in their pockets to turn in here. Leo Rice continuing to find interrupts on Silverbell. Blaze, one of the better heroes in the game for that sort of play. Oh my gosh, Infa eating every single hit of that Dragon's Breath. Chromie just one level away from their heroic talent tier. Gingy Boy continuing to receive every single Colossus Smash that Gen.M can throw at them. Turn-in attempts here on the bot side. Gen.M are doing a good job goaltending. Fancy Flightless Fowl doing a great job keeping them guessing. Both teams with enough gems in their pockets now to turn in. Silverbell able to drop theirs off. Infofox gets scouted, and this is where Time Walker's Pursuit and Chromie in general is a huge boon for the side of the Flightless Fowl. We can see Slowing Sands set up the heroic of choice for Batmang. Coffin taking a lot of damage here. Oh my gosh, what a great drag, but the phase shift will be in time. Alfie under no real threat here. Infofox wandering around, looking for a little bit of cooldown reduction thanks to their level 7 Feeding Frenzy. And with a lot of Gen.M showing in top lane, Fancy Flightless Fowl set up for the turn-in attempt here on bot side. Leo Reyes taking a lot of punishment from Silverbell. Infofox is doing a great job stalling here, but without any more essence in their pockets, I don't think they can continue to stall. Greek Fire able to zone Alfie off, and all the while on top side, Gen.M get the turn-in of their own. Neck and neck towards our heroic talents here, except for Chromie, who's already got hers. The 4-hero commitment to mid lane. Would love to see Gen.M send someone top to take care of that wave as well. Looks like they've got Greek Fire on the Rhaegar tending to top lane. The lick hits Joe, but she's got her Unstoppable up. Gingy Boy also opting for Hold Your Ground at level 4, so they've got Unstoppable available to them more often than they would otherwise. And now it's heroics for all heroes. Alfie does not connect with the Cursed Bullet. We've also got Entomb, Blessed Shield, Blink Heal, and we already, of course, mentioned Slowing Sands. Coffin looking for the Chromie. That time stop. Gingy Boy, oh my gosh, just in time to save Batman's life. Batman taking what seemed to be a safe rotation. Oh no, on the bot side, they take out the Blaze, but Infa able to survive, pops both the Essence and the Adaptation. Speaking of Adaptation and Gen.M's heroics, we've also got Commandeer Odin, Bunker, and Ancestral Healing. So the economy of Gen.M still healthy, with Infofox able to recover those gems that Leo Rice dropped in that takedown. Blessed Shield up in the next 5 seconds. We could see Fancy Flightless Fowl use that opportunity to get aggressive here. There's the phase shift onto Alfie. Infa trying to drop off gems here, but the Fowl will not let them do it. Drag does not connect. Silverbell continues to zone. On the top side, Coffin trying to drop some off, but Batman sees them thanks to the Slowing Sands. All the while, we've got Alfie and Steph taking care of the Bruiser camp. So a little bit of a macro advantage for the Flightless Fowl at this point. They're trying to take out the Leoric. It's going to be 17 gems if they're able to. On the top side, Coffin draws the Ancestral from Greek Fire. Gingy Boy pops the Unstoppable. It'll last a little bit longer. A drag connects with Steph. They're able to blink out to safety. Greek Fire drawing the fort aggro there, and they're taking a lot of damage. They already used Ancestral here. Infofox might be able to get these gems in, but Gingy Boy connects. Silverbell spawns. It's back to a full 5v5. Bunker and Entomb both still available. The Flightless Fowl, in spite of their small macro advantage in the mid lane, were unable to leverage that into a turn-in of their own. Bot lane fort went down at some point, and I'm super observant, so I noticed it and told you all about it when it happened. And not a second after that. Gingy Boy does not connect with the Blessed Shield, nor does Silverbell with Entomb. So they've got as many stalls as they could, but in the end, Fancy Flightless Fowl are able to sneak their gems past Gen.M. And their lanes are in a pretty solid spot. The Flightless Fowl could get a lot of push done here. Infofox trying to spook their way through these bushes. They would love to get a drag on Alfie to slow down the push power that Fancy Flightless Fowl have at their disposal. Greymane, excellent at hitting structures. Not so bad at hitting Blaze either. Connects with another Cursed Bullet. Mid lane already cleared up. Coffin trying to threaten the Johanna there. They've opted for Shattering Throw at 13, so Gingy Boy cannot be unstoppable if Coffin doesn't want them to be. Infofox just kind of walking up and saying hi to all of the Flightless Fowl. Oh no, we've got to drag Silverbell under towers here. There's the Blessed Shield onto 2. Protected popped. Infofox falling very low. Do they have their heroic available? They do, but they haven't popped it yet. Silverbell will be the first to fall in the engagement. Sir Mac and Cheese dashing in, trying to chase onto Gingy Boy. Alfie with their on the prowl move speed, kiting in and out very successfully. So no forts go down with that objective phase. First turn in not as successful for the Fowl as it was for Gen.M. Coffin connects with another shattering, I'm sorry, not shattering, Colossal Smash. We should have Entomb up here shortly, yeah, in the next 10 seconds. Drag does not connect. Level 16 will be a big deal for Infofox. It'll allow for, I assume, Elongated Tongue. Leo Rice pushing up the top lane means that this fort is going to take a lot of punishment, while the rest of Gen.M get busy on the mid lane. We can see Fancy Flightless Fowl making the rotation up. Leo Rice still has Bunker available, so not under too much threat. They're playing it pretty safe. Alfie has been willing and able to get those ganks. There's the stun onto the Dahaka. Gingy Boy falling low here. Top fort falls. Mid-keep wall falls as well. The Blessed Shield on Dahaka not quite enough to take care of business. Definitely a good engage attempt on the side of the Flightless Fowl. I don't know if they just don't have enough to burst through the Dahaka, or if there were some important tools on cooldown. Either way, the Fowl are going to be able to get this Bruiser camp going again. They're down a talent here. Infofox willing to walk right into all of them, try and threaten them off. There's the Entomb, however. They've already used the Burrow. Coffin connects onto Alfie. Alright, they're going to back out just fine, without too much trouble, and successfully invade. Infofox takes another beating from the Flightless Fowl. Quantum Overdrive, likely the culprit there. Chromie's spell power. Alright, we've got level 16s on both sides now. The Alpha Killer for the Greymane. Very interesting. It is a Wraithwalk build for Leoric, looking for damage reduction in these fights. And there's the Brushstalker in. Infofox does not connect with Batman. Polymorph now. There's the Blessed Shield. They pop the thing. Oh my gosh, Silverbell taking so much damage. Infofox very low here. Entomb goes out. Gingy Boy has to retreat. They've got sub 1000 HP. Coffin continues to chase, however. Silverbell under a lot of threat. They connect the Drain Hope, but they won't be able to survive. All the while, they lose the fight as Webweavers are headed their way. Fancy Flightless Fowl in a tough position to defend this objective. Looks like bot lane with its siege camp is the primary push lane for Gen.M. We'll see if Fancy Flightless Fowl can preserve this keep. It would be a heroic effort if they do, especially with Alfie tending to top lane there. So it's one keep for sure. Gen.M may be able to secure a second one. Infofox getting aggressive, but oh my gosh, they take so much damage. Entomb catches 2. Coffin falling very low, has to get Ancestral. They go back in, but they'll fall. Alfie chasing on with the percent damage, but they take the jet propulsion, and they'll fall. Commandeer Odin still very safe. Leo Rice and Infofox running amok here while the core is shelled by the siege camp. Gen.M want to keep the Flightless Fowl here as long as possible. We may actually see some core damage here, a little bit of core damage in fact. Infofox tanking this keep for as much as they can here. The regeneration build Dahaka is a tanky boy to be sure. So 2 keeps and 2 whole percent off the core. A very successful push for Gen.M. Flightless Fowl were able to survive the worst of it, of course. They still have their top keep, which can be very important in these late game scenarios because that, of course, is the boss lane. And they managed to hold on to most of their gems. Infofox looking for the interrupts here. They'll get it. What did Chromie opt for at the Storm Talent tier? Piercing Sands. All right. Not going to go for the Unraveling. I believe Unraveling was recently changed in the patch. Oh my god, Blessed Shield. Silverbell connects on the Coffin. We could see the Entomb here. Coffin's so low. Silverbell connecting with the damage reduction here. Sir Mac and Cheese caught in the Entomb, but they get the Ancestral. It's Brightwing to fall first. Silverbell deep behind enemy lines. And that's another takedown, this time onto Gingy Boy. Oh no. All the gems dropped. Chromie, the sole survivor. Chromie can do a lot of damage, but I would be surprised to see Batman make this defense. Of course, with heavy melee composition, Gen.M are going to have no trouble chewing through this core HP. That's going to do it. Another domination win for Gen.M. Fancy Flightless Fowl unable to withstand their melee-heavy opponents. Well played nonetheless to our home team. They definitely have a lot cooking. They've got some great synergies amongst the team. It's clear to see that their long time in the league together has paid off in that regard, but they just fell a little short 2 games in a row. Let's take a look at our post-game stats here. We've got Chromie top of the lobby, but unfortunately not in the winning team. Sir Mac and Cheese very close. 82k. Not bad. The takedown count still pretty low on both sides. We can also take a look at our talents, see if there was anything too out of the ordinary. Sizzling attacks for Tychus, a little bit out of the ordinary. And Alpha Killer, that was not the one that was changed at 16. You can use ! patch for any of that if you're curious. So there you have it. Another game in the bag for Gen.M. This time they're able to get the domination. I'm just trying to wrangle an interview here shortly and get everybody set for that. Gen.M definitely looked very strong on their battleground selections. I think they're relatively comfortable and prefer to opt for the battleground selection. So the fact that the Flightless Fowl preferred first pick wasn't much of a problem for them. Game 1, very close, down to the wire, with a backdoor attempt on the side of the Flightless Fowl, whereas Game 2, a little bit more commanding. It looks like we will be joined for an interview here. Welcome, welcome. GG, how are you feeling? First domination of the season.
games went pretty well. I think game 2 shows kind of the curveballs that we're going to need to throw this season, I think, in order to really compete in A. Did I say game 1? I meant game 2. I don't know what I said now. But I feel pretty good. Game 1, little rough. Definitely moments of throw from us throughout the game. But game 2, very commanding, very in charge the whole time.
Absolutely. Getting back to game 1, when Fancy Flightless Fowl showed up on your core, I'm curious, what were comms like in that moment? How confident were you in the base race? Did you think it was going to be an easy win? Did you expect it to be as close as it was?
We knew they were going to go base race. That was their only chance of winning. They did more damage than we were expecting, but I completely almost threw. I used the W on the minion wave to get the Punisher closer to us. Had I saved W for the core, they only get to like 25% on our core instead of 17. So that is completely on me. Like if I save my W and have Mimic W on their core, completely different story. But I didn't. So I was
I mean,
Mephisto auto attacks if you not.
in those really hectic scenarios, it can be hard to have the forethought. So can't say I blame you. It was a nail biter, like a 33-minute game too. So at that point, like I could see nerves being a little frazzled. But
I don't
like,
even know if it was nerves. It was just a dumb decision.
Sure.
Like, I don't even know if it was nerves. It was just me going, oh, this seems like a good idea. And then when it definitely was not.
Fair enough. I'm curious, were you guys expecting to see, did your scouting show any preference for Morales ahead of this match? That took me by surprise.
No. So I don't really do scouting. It's kind of something I'm notorious for. I do have 5-minute scouting adventures. With this team, you don't really have a team, so you have to look more at individual players. So it took me like 10 minutes. There is no Morales there. I mean, Silver Bell, everything I saw recently had them on DPS.
That's
Like,
what I've
their
known
top-
Silver Bell to play in previous seasons.
Yeah, their top heroes from, I think it was 2 seasons ago, was Sylv and Zag at 10 games, Chromie 5 games, Jaina 3 games.
Yes, when I think of Silver Bell, I think of Sylv and Jaina.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I didn't see that coming. So, yeah, there were some toss-ups, and then a healer, like, I don't know. With their team, you never know what to expect. Steph, like, their heroes were Kael'Thas and Chromie from the season I was able to look. Not healer at all, so.
Certainly not. And, you know, when I first saw the Morales, I was not convinced, but Steph looked really strong on it. I was really kind of surprised how many saves she was able to make on the Morales. It was very impressive.
We didn't have many ways to interrupt the Morales heal, I think.
True.
Was like the main thing that really encouraged it. And we even had a conversation where I was debating, like, I don't think Mac asked, but I was like, you know, Mac, go either alt. Mind Control obviously is great for fishing for picks, and then Wailing Arrow into 3 melee or a Morales, like, that just stops the heal, or that stops them collapsing as hard as they would like to.
Yeah, absolutely. Both really strong arguments for either heroic. It's why I'm not a Sylvanas player. I mean, one of the many reasons. Hero
You and your Dahaka.
I know. I just want to keep picking Dahaka. That's all I want. So game 2, can you talk a little bit about the hypercarry Tychus, or is it fair to call it that? I mean, a Smash Varian is certainly uncommon in the league. Do you think that is a map-specific pick, or is that just an underexplored area of the meta in your mind?
So how long do you have, and how deep do you want me to go into the variants of the Smash pick?
We'll keep it shorter.
Because I think when Ektar and Ace casted one of my games many seasons ago, they obviously kind of knew I was in love with C Smash Variant, and they gave me the floor, and I think I had a 10-minute whole conversation about it. Where at level 7 you can do 1700 damage with a full C Smash combo if you combo it correctly, and weave in every single auto attack that you're supposed to. So
that's no joke.
It was not. What was that?
That's no joke. That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. And going into this, I had no plans of picking Dahaka main tank. Honestly, I decided on the Haka within the last like 2 seconds of that pick. I was debating with myself. I'm like, is the Haka good? Nobody was giving me input. I'm like, yeah, if I'm going the Haka. And loading in, Cawthon, he was like, even it took him, as you saw, I think we were probably like our 4 before he picked his level 1 talent, where he was like, do I go taunt? Do I go C Smash? I'm like, both are good here. He's like, I want to play C Smash. So I said, go for it. I can maintain the Haka. I've done it many times. So it brought Tychus more out of, okay, we're going to taunt, tongue, Blaze Stun for Tychus just to sit there and kill the person, to, oh, well, I'll just tongue and then we C Smash Tychus kill.
Yeah.
So it took a little bit away from that hyper carry on the Tychus.
Mhm.
I hyper carry in quotes.
Yeah.
It's more like you can just sit here and do just attack because you're under no threat.
Mhm.
To, oh, we now have a lot more threat.
Yeah, it definitely opened up. It felt like it made the draft a little less linear, which is never a bad idea. Because it can,
No.
you can feel pigeonholed if it's just Tychus has to be able to auto this one person, and if we get stopped, then our draft falls apart.
Yeah. The nice thing, like, even if it was taunt, like, you just hit the Johanna, and what's she gonna do? Once you hit her with any form of CC, she can't Iron Skin, so she has to rely on the Brightwing Cleanse.
Yep.
But then there's another CC right on top of it instantly.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, you would lead with taunt, and I could just watch the Brightwing. The second I see her miss come out, I just time it, my tongue off of that, and instantly CC her. And it makes it so Joe can't blind. She's just kind of sitting there eating free damage the whole time and just would die from it.
Yes, absolutely.
But it definitely, like you said, opens up the draft, opens up our kill pressure and who we can target more, because I can go on one person while Cawthon's just sprinting at somebody else.
Yeah, Cawthon got some pretty sick flanks. So yeah, that was a awesome game. Looking forward into the season a little bit more, are there any series that you as a team are really looking forward to or perhaps dreading? What are your thoughts on potential playoff contention? How are you feeling after 2 weeks of play?
Playoffs is a long way out. Wow. No, I mean, obviously Spooky Ghost, they're a team I've scrimmed quite a few times through different variations of Gen.M, so it's always fun to play against Eric now that he's not a Medivh one trick. Makes those games a lot more enjoyable. I think they're back. They're Can't Pause Won't Pause. They're back to that. I thought they had a different name. Obviously friends with quite a few of them on there, Bankai and Mischief, so always fun to run into them as well.
Nice.
As to who I'm kind of worried about, there's a couple teams out there, but if I give away all the information, then
I won't make you snitch on yourself. I won't make you snitch on yourself. I should let you get back to celebrate with the team. Before I do, the floor is yours for any shout-outs you want to give.
Obviously, first and foremost to you, thank you for the cast. As always, you do a fantastic job, and I can't wait to watch this VOD tomorrow before the hockey game tomorrow night. Obviously, to Gen.M and every version of it as a whole, we're, seventh season right now?
I believe that's true.
A different variation. So it's always really cool to see how it evolves, all the different people and their patience for really being the one that brought it together, even though I wasn't supposed to be on the first team. I kind of wiggled my way in here, and now I've just been stuck as the captain since that first season. So that's always been nice. NGS, obviously, for putting it on. And the other team for, showing up. It's always nice when teams show up and there's not whole scheduling issues. Probably one of the easier teams I've ever scheduled with. There's a couple teams where it's like, hey, this day, this time, we're good to go. So they're definitely one of them. So shout outs to Fancy Flightless Fowls for that too.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much for the interview, InfoFox. Have a great evening.
Yep, you too. Thanks for the cast again.
Absolutely. Bye. So there you have it, folks. That will take care of the series. InfoFox pleased after the first domination. I'm sure all of Gen.M are feeling the same way. Fancy Flightless Fowls, don't look at their scoreline and think they're weak opponents. They're definitely a team to reckon with. And it sounds like there is some amount of soul searching on who plays what roles, at least compared to previous seasons. So the Flightless Fowl may, in fact, find the formula here and become a playoff-geared team. Before I sign off, I'll give some shout-outs of my own. I'll echo InfoFox's shout-out to NGS for putting on a fantastic league to be a part of. We couldn't be broadcasting, watching, playing without them. Oh, and looks like we've got a raid from Raka right as I'm signing off. Thank you for the raid. We'll give a quick shout out to Raka. Be sure to follow Raka. Raka's great. And one of the NGS staff who we are shouting out. If everyone wants to stick around, I'll raid you over to another stream. I believe that we should still have one going. Where was I in my shoutouts? NGS, thank you. To everyone who tuned in to watch the series, thank you very much. The audience is what makes a broadcast better than going live to tape. So thank you for chatting it up, cheering folks on. Great to have you. I also, of course, need to give a shout out to all of the artists, programmers, and musicians whose work I feature here on the stream. It wouldn't look or sound anywhere near as good without their contributions. You can find links to all of their work below or coming up here in a credit roll. It's all open source Creative Commons licensed stuff. So if you've heard anything or seen anything that you think looks neat, you can put it in your next project too for the price of just giving credit. And that should do it here. We'll head to another stream if we've got another one up, but until next time, good luck and have fun out there. Peace and love.